Breaking news alerts, overnight news, plus weather and traffic every 10 minutes. This is CBS 47 on your side this morning.
Coming up on CBS 47 this morning, grab your coat and umbrella. We have a look at your pinpoint forecast as wet weather heads into the valley.
The home was already fully involved with fire.
New this morning, a deadly night east of Fresno after a mobile home goes up in flames.
I'm just shocked because I can't even take my own car.
And a shooting after a rap show at the Save Mart Center. Find out how many people Fresno State Police are now questioning. Good morning on this Friday. I'm ZARA Arboleda. It is 6:01, 59 degrees outside our studios. We continue to monitor breaking news from New Jersey. Let's take a look now at live pictures in Paulsboro. That's in the southern part of the state. A freight train derailed. A bridge has collapsed, and at least 4 cars are leaking a hazardous material. They think it's a liquid vinyl chloride. Almost 24 people have already gone to area hospitals. They're complaining of respiratory problems, of breathing problems. Again, a train has derailed in South New Jersey. A bridge has also collapsed. We'll update this story again a bit later in the newscast. Taking a live look outside our studios, this is in the area of Blackstone and Shaw in Fresno. Roads are wet as the second of 3 storms gets ready to head our way. Let's also take a live look now at our Fresno Skyview camera. Jenny is tracking your forecast and pinpoint weather.
That's right. Good morning, Zara. Good morning, everybody. Just some light showers overnight, just enough to wet the roads, but only a couple hundredths of an inch. Main front is starting to roll in. Here's a look at our live pinpoint Doppler, and you can see those showers that moved across the valley. Light greens, really some light sprinkles. Yellow is the steadier rain that's moving into the foothills now around Fish Camp area. Blue is the snow that's still pretty high up around Huntington and Yosemite Shaver, still seeing some rain. And in the background there, we actually have a wind advisory, very gusty winds today. Wind advisory till 10 tonight for the valley floor, and then over the weekend we have a flood watch for the foothills and the mountains. We'll talk more about those in just a little bit. In terms of our wind speeds right now, where the front is in the North Valley, it's a very windy, 25-mile-per-hour winds in Los Banos, 18 in Merced. That's headed for the rest of the valley, 10 miles per hour or less from Fresno south. And temperatures are in the upper 50s to low 60s right now, staying really warm with those clouds, but not warming up much for your high today. In fact, we'll see those low to mid 60s all day long, 65 for your high. We'll talk more about the showers, the chance of snow, the flood watch, and the wind advisory in a couple of minutes.
New this morning, a deadly house fire under investigation at Jensen and Crawford in Fresno County. That's just east of Minkler. When firefighters got there around 7:30 last night, flames surrounded the mobile home. Crews later found a body inside. Neighbors tell us an elderly person lived there alone.
It's unknown what the deceased person is, male or female. Neighbors have told the investigators that the individual is an elderly individual, but until the investigation is completed, family is notified. At that point they'll release the person's name, male or female.
Still no word on what sparked the blaze or if the home even had any working smoke detectors. We'll have an update for you today at noon. Also new this morning, 6 people getting questioned after a shooting right outside the Save Mart Center. A man was hit around 10:30 last night, right after a concert by rapper Rick Ross. The victim will be okay. No one else injured. Fresno State Police think they might already have the suspect in custody.
We've detained 6 subjects. They're being transported over to the University Police Department. And the Fresno Police Department and the university detectives will be interviewing them to attempt to ascertain what happened here.
The investigation blocked off one part of the Save Mart Center's parking lot. One concert goer had to leave her car there and then wait for someone to pick her up.
I come out and the cops weren't letting me get to my car. It was really fun. We were all in my friend's suite, and then I come out to that.
Police are expected to have more information on a possible suspect later today. We're waiting for the ID this morning of the person killed in a head-on crash in Reedley. It happened at Reed and Lincoln. Car tried to pass in a bad area during rush hour, then hit an SUV coming in the opposite direction. The driver of the Camry was killed. 2 people in the SUV did go to the hospital but will survive. A Fresno native just returned home from serving in the Israeli army. This was days before a big vote regarding Palestinian statehood. The United Nations did vote overwhelmingly to recognize a Palestinian state as a non-member observer. The vote came over the objections of Israel and the U.S. CBS 47's Evie Ramos takes a closer look at the local connection.
I can tell you from personal experience that rockets fall almost every day.
Darrow Pierce was born and raised in Fresno. She just returned after serving 2 years in the Israeli army.
I want to live in Israel, and one of the huge parts of Israel is the army because it's compulsory service. So a lot of the culture focuses around what happens in the army.
As a physical trainer for soldiers in basic training, Pierce was not on the front lines, but she lived right next to Gaza, and she experienced the violence of the war firsthand.
A lot of the times I had to run for bomb shelters. I had 15 seconds or less.
Pierce, now from home, is witnessing the celebrations in the streets of the Palestinian territories following Thursday's historic vote at the United Nations, recognizing the Palestinian territories as a state. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas called the vote a milestone.
Is called upon today to issue a birth certificate of the reality of the state of Palestine.
But Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called the vote unfortunate, counterproductive, and not the path to a lasting peace.
We have been clear that only through direct negotiations between the parties can the Palestinians and Israelis achieve the peace they both deserve.
A sentiment Pierce affirms.
I don't think it should be forced. I think it's something that needs to happen through negotiation.
That's Evie Ramos reporting. 60 degrees at 6:06, still to come. We'll take a great look at the high school football season here in the Valley. It comes to a close tonight.
President Obama presented his plan to avoid the fiscal cliff to members of Congress, and Hostess may be ready for its big bake sale. I'm Ashley Morrison in New York. I'll have that and much more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
It's a winter wonderland at the Disneyland Resort. Mike Scott will join us live from Anaheim coming up in just a bit. But first, rain heading our way. Sprinkles already falling on the valley floor. You can see some drops on our Skyview camera lens there. Jenny has pinpoint traffic and weather next.